So my research was on mental illness and crime. My thesis is mental illness correlates with criminal behavior, and different specific methods to target mental illness will help reduce recidivism. So there are 3 different reasons why individuals commit crime. The first being personal motivations such as greed or blackmail. The second being socioeconomic factors such as poverty. And then the third, which is key, is mental illness. So there's also 3 things that I think cause mental illness. The first being drugs from pressure or a need for escape. The second is environmental factors such as stress or negativity. And then the third is chemical imbalances, which is hereditary and you can't control them. So I have 4 different examples of the correlation between mental illness and crime. The first being a P-factor method, which is a digital timeline that mental illness does intersect with criminal behavior. An example would be having a disorder like anxiety or depression, which leads or could lead to the use of drugs or alcohol, and then could lead to criminal behavior such as aggression. My second example is trauma. My specific studies have been on veterans. In my opinion, I don't think veterans are getting the proper care they need after being enlisted. So that's causing things like post-traumatic stress, which can lead to memory loss or impulse control issues, which lands them in the criminal justice system along with homelessness. The third is mental hospitals. In studies, it showed that mental hospitals are a key factor of if someone is a threat to society, along with the severity of the crime committed. That was really surprising to me because you would think that mental hospitals are there to help individuals who are suffering from mental illness, but from the studies that I've seen, it kind of does the exact opposite. And then my 4th example is brain damage and brain abnormalities. So I read a study about an individual who was once easygoing and kind. He turned into an aggressive teenager following a brain injury in a car wreck. He later went to jail for assault and battery on a pregnant woman. Another person only had thoughts of pedophilia while having a brain tumor, and after the brain tumor was taken out, he no longer had thoughts of pedophilia. And then brain activity of a serial killer differed from that of a normal individual, and then they tend to plead guilty by reason of insanity. And then to further this, as you can see here, these are 2 brain scans. This is a normal individual and this is a serial killer brain scan. You can see that there's a lot more activity in the normal individual than that of a serial killer, and it's not shown here, but amygdala and frontal cortex damage is also seen in serial killer brain scans. So how can we as a society help this ongoing issue? First is specific cognitive behavioral therapy. This is one of the most effective ways to help mentally ill offenders, and what it is it pretty much has this offender identify what it is that's going on with them, and then help overcome them. And then this is a bit more broad, but different reentry programs will help mentally ill offenders. Stuff like mandatory health visits after being reentered into society to help them stay on the right track. I've seen in different research that when mentally ill offenders go back into society, they're very optimistic, they don't think they're going to come back, and then they end up doing stuff to make them come back into prison, even though it wasn't likely, or you thought it wasn't likely. So is there any controversy? Yes. Some believe mental illness is used as an overall broad excuse for why crime is committed, and some may believe that you can lie about mental illness in order to receive a less punishment. So from my research, by thinking that mental illness is overall the general excuse for why people commit crime, actually victimizes all individuals who commit crime and puts them in an untrusted category by the rest of society. And also, to further that, updated psychological technology such as the diagnostic criteria DSM-5 is used by health professionals, which is good for proving mental illness along with abnormal brain scans.